In this training video today, we'll be covering how to create a new contact, assign a search to that contact, and then setting up an auto notification based off of the client's search parameters so they can get any new listings or existing listings that have changed that match their criteria. To begin, at the top of Paragon, you'll click on Contacts. From here, you'll click on Add Contact to start from scratch to create a client, or if you've already got a client in Paragon, you can go to View Manage Contacts, click on the client's name, and then assign a search and set up the notification from there. For today's example, however, we're going to start from scratch and create a new contact. When you click on Add Contact, this screen appears. In order to save a contact, you have to have a first name and a last name. However, in order to set up the notification, you also need to put an email address in for this client. So, for this example, we'll put John as the first name, Smith as the last name, and in the email address, we'll put an email address for John Smith. Once I have their information entered, I'll then mark that email address as primary. That way, any email that I send out from Paragon will go to this particular email address. Once I click on Save, then this menu appears on the left-hand side. Anytime that I click on a client from here, it'll then pull up this little section over here on the left-hand side. If I want to maintain the client, maybe change their email address, add a mailing address, or a telephone number, I will then go to General, click on Contact Information, then this screen right here will appear where I can modify their information and save them. To continue, I'm going to click on Search Activity. When I click on Search Activity on the left-hand side, two options appear: Add a new search or Agent Recommended. Add Search will be where I will go for the class today, where I'll set up a saved search so that anytime that there are any new or changed listings, a notification will be sent to the client. Agent Recommended is used so that if you have a client that is looking at a specific listing, maybe they're wanting to be notified if there's a price change, or if the listing is currently under contract and they want to be notified if it comes back on the market, Agent Recommended is where you will go to set up the notification based off of a specific listing. So for today's class, we're going to go to Add Search. And it gives us the opportunity here to add a new saved search or load an existing saved search. So maybe I've already created the search, but I want to set up notification options for this particular client. I can go to Load Existing Saved Search, select the saved search that I've already created, and then set up my notification option from here. I can also go here and click on Add a New Saved Search to start from scratch. I can have up to 3 saved searches per client. So when I click on Add a New Saved Search, it gives me the option to choose which classification I want to set up. I'm going to choose Residential. So when I click on Residential, my standard search screen comes up. First thing that we need to note about setting up notifications is that we can only set up notifications on active listings. So for my status, I want to choose the active status. From here, I will then go in and fill out any other criteria that my client is looking for. So let's say that John here is looking for a single family home between $200,000 and $250,000. Maybe they're looking at a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. Currently, there are 119 listing matches. This lets me know that there are a lot of matches that pop up for this particular client, so they'll get notified quite frequently. If you notice a smaller number here, that will let you know that they won't get an email as frequently because there aren't as many listings that are currently in the system, so typically there won't be that many new matches. Go ahead and fill out any other criteria that you want for your client, and when you have finished setting up all this criteria, you'll go to Save Search and then Save Search As. You can see that the system has already named my search, Save Search for John Smith, and it has already chosen John Smith as the client to assign the search to. So I will then go and click on Save at the upper right hand corner. Now, On the left-hand side of the screen, you will notice that in between Add Search and Agent Recommended, we have our Saved Search listed here. At this point, anytime that I want to go into my client to modify the search or set up or change my notification options, I'll just click on the client's name, go under Search Activity, click on the Save Search, and from here I can make my modifications. So if I want to change the search itself, I'll go up here and click on Edit Search. If I want to remove the search from the contact, I will choose Remove from Contact. In the lower portion of this screen here, I then have my notification options. Currently, my notification is set to off. This means that not only will an email not go out to my client, but in the Total, New Matches, and Change section here, it does not keep track of those listings. No notification will not send out an email notification to my client, but however it does keep track of any new matches or change listings that match this particular client search criteria. The third option here is email notification. From here we will set up a notification that tells my client anytime that there are any new listings, change listings, or any listings that may have had a price change that cause it to fall within my search parameters. The fourth option here is Client Connect with Auto Notify. This is for more of your tech-savvy clients. What this will allow your client to do is to log into a specific website, and from there they can look at all of their matches. From here they can make comments on the listings, mark them as favorites, possibilities, or reject them outright because they do not like them. For today's webinar, though, we're going to be talking about the email notification. So, when I click on email notification, an option window is going to appear. It's going to have their email address in the To field. I also have a section here where I can carbon copy myself if I would like to on this notification. The subject line then reads out Real Estate Listing Notification for your particular client. This is a good thing to keep in here. That way, if you get a copy of your client notifications, you'll know which client is getting notified based off of the subject line of the email. Over here on the right-hand side next to the subject line, you have a begin date and an end date for your particular client notifications. They're set up for a year, which is the maximum length. At the end of this term, so within 30 days of this particular notification expiring, Paragon will send you a notification when you log in, allowing you to renew this for another year. Next, we have our result view. All fields detail is currently selected. I do want to change that, however, because I do not want my client to get the all fields detail view. I would choose another view that I would like to send this to them. MLS Client View is a very popular view because it is set up so that anytime that this notification is sent, it does not include any agent information, private information, commissions, or appointment phone numbers. It's only set up for a client to view. Next, continuing over, we have the option to set it up to send out immediately so that every 15 minutes the search is going to run. If there are any new matches from this point, it will then send that out. This is good if you have very limited search results. However, if you've got a broad search, you may send out multiple emails a day. That might get a little confusing to your client. So in that case, I would choose to set up a recurring notification. When I click on recurring, it then sets up a time frame here for me. I need to click this up to set it up. So right now, mine's set up to send out daily at 5 p.m. I can also set it to go up only on the weekdays. So maybe I'm sending this to their work email address and they don't get it on the weekends. I would choose to go out every weekday so that way they can get those emails when they have access to their email. And then I would set up my notification time from here so that they'll get those emails at that specific time every day. When you have that set up the way that you want, so maybe I want to send this out at 4 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock, make my change and click OK. The next thing I have here is a price change or new matches. That's what my client's going to be notified on. Then in this section below, you have a section where you can go in and create a notification message to your particular client. This is a standard message that I have set up already for my particular listings, but you can go in and make your own. Once you have everything set up here the way that you want, click OK on the upper right hand corner. And from this point forward, at 4 o'clock every day, based off of that notification time frame that I have set, any new listing or any changed listing will then go out to my client. It is of note that these 119 listing matches that are currently here will not go out to them because they are not really new listings or changed listings. Now on the left hand side of the screen, underneath Save Search for John Smith, you'll see Email Notification 1. Maybe I need to make a change to the time frame. I can click on Email Notification 1, go over here, and modify this notification. Maybe they prefer to get the emails instead of at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. If I need to disable this notification, I can go and click on Off. Or I can go to Delete Notification, and that will allow me to start from scratch. Once you've got this set up, there is nothing further that you need to do as this is now active.